Hey, Julie Roussel here. Hey, welcome to Wacky Wednesday on this Halloween night. So hey, thanks for joining in, whether you are popping in live right now or you are catching on the replay. So hey, happy Halloween. Hey, are you trick-or-treating tonight? Or are you trick-or-treated already this week? So hey, if you, as always with any of my videos, hey, I'm kind of dressed up too, just a little. But if you hear something that resonates with you, would you please leave a reaction, comment your thoughts, or ask questions anytime in the thread. Share the video with anyone you think it might help, and PM me if you have questions or want to hear more. So I'm happy to share the things that I'm learning, and I hope that they help you. And maybe you get a good giggle out of them too. But hey, happy Halloween. I see if you're joining in now. It doesn't always show me right away, but sometimes it does. Hey, Mr. K. Hey, so great to see you. Hey, April. Been a long time, lady. So hey, I'm glad you're joining in. It doesn't always show me right away, but like I said, when you do, I like to try and welcome you. If I happen to miss you, well, if you've seen my videos before, you know my camera notes are usually set landscape style to my left. Hey, Mr. K. Hey. Happy Halloween to you and Becky. Hey, Tiff, nice to see you popping in, lady. Hey. And if you've ever seen my videos before, you know that my notes are parked to the side, and I kind of have to look at them because this is kind of my biggest fear, and my mind goes blank every time, and I know it doesn't make sense, but that's just the way it is. So just do me a favor and leave me a hey or howdy. Let me know that you popped in, or if you know you're dressed up too, and maybe what you're dressed up as. And if you didn't dress up today, no worries. But let me ask the question for the night as you're typing in what you dressed up for today. No makeup though. This was good enough for me at the tail. But let me ask the question for the night. When you were little, what scared you the most about Halloween? Now, would you please answer in the thread with either a GIF or what you were most afraid of and kind of how you overcame it. And that kind of wraps in and ties in with the topic for tonight. Fear. You know, what scares you, what you're afraid of. And fear is something that will either make or break you. And it's something I've, might have mentioned once or twice in some of my other videos. You know, whether it's a fear of live video, for example, or your fear is public speaking, or you're afraid to have a business conversation with someone, or you're afraid to write that banquet speech that's coming up pretty soon, maybe, or you're afraid to take a college course online, or you're afraid that you might fail, or you're afraid that you sound silly in your interview, whether you're afraid to make that call with a client, whatever your fear happens to be, whatever it is. And you know that these fears are absolutely silly because they're not life-threatening in any way, and they're not exactly rational or logical, but they're still fear. And fear, if you want to look it up in Webster's dictionary, it's the unpleasant emotion caused by being afraid. And we know that a lot of our fears are silly and they're not warranted, but it still frightens us anyways, even if they're kind of made up. Like that little one who's afraid of the ghost in the corner, or what's going to pop out of the closet at night, like the Monsters, Inc. movie. But, learning to overcome those fears is just one small step at a time. And the opposite of fear is courage, when you are feeling the fear and functioning through it anyways. And if you've been in a life-threatening situation before, or you're a first responder, you understand the nature of fear and what it feels like, and you learn how to beat it. So how do you beat it? You make fear your friend, because if you don't, you're going to be paralyzed. You're going to be frozen. You're going to be wanting to hide in the closet over there. You're going to feel like you're stuck, and you're going to feel like you just got to go head back to your safe comfort zone. And, for example, years and years ago when you're out on Halloween and you wanted to go to this haunted house with your friends. It's this creepy, scary haunted house, and you're going to go through it, and you want to go through it because you know that when you get through it, at the end, there's this big bag of candy as your reward. And when you go through that haunted house, you know that it's going to be terrifying, that there are going to be those noises, scary noises, flashing lights and zombies, and they're going to pop out at you, and you might even pee your pants. You're so scared. But you want that candy, and you want to look cool and brag to your friends that, yeah, you made it through that haunted house, just like everybody else. And, as you're ready to go through, your heart is racing and you're breathing as fast and your stomach is churning and you have that dry, cold sweat going down your back. You have that dry mouth and your hands are shaking, maybe. And right at that moment, you have the choice to stay outside the haunted house because you're too afraid to go in, or you go through, even though you're scared. And you want to win that prize. You want to look cool in front of your friends. And guess what? Even though you were terrified, you made it through. You survived, and you're not so afraid. Come the next time you go through the haunted house. And you might go through it 5 or 6 more times that day because you're not afraid of it anymore, right? And have you ever felt like that? So I have a few tips that a few mentors have been sharing with me, and I found pretty helpful in my life in the last 3 years. I thought I would share with you real quick. Just 2. So that's pretty easy. Number 1, you want to identify your fear. What is it that scares you, and why does it scare you so much? Is it a relationship change? Is it a career change? Is it asking someone out for coffee? Is it a promotion that you're afraid of? Are you afraid that you're going to actually be successful? Are you afraid that you're going to fail? Are you afraid that you might have the chance to make the winning basket or hit the winning ball and win the game? Or are you afraid that you'll blow it at the same time? And, when you were this close to beating your fear that last time, you were scared and you were so close. But like most people, myself included, we bailed and we backed out on it because we were paralyzed by fear. And I'll be honest, that's happened to me a lot on little silly things. And the second tip is that even though you feel the fear, you do it anyways. And you do it afraid. Because when you're in that haunted house, even though you don't want to be, and your friends are egging you on and you want to look cool and you want to get through because you really want that candy or that prize, and it scares the bejesus out of you to go through it anyways, and you try to put it off and you try to talk yourself out of it. Am I making a mistake? Can I make it through? Are people gonna laugh at me if I don't? And how bad could it really be? And do I believe in myself enough to do this? And let me tell you, that negative self-talk, it paralyzes you every time. It keeps you from pushing past what scares you the most so that you can get through the haunted house. So yeah, you can be afraid in that haunted house, but your fear and your hesitation, it just magnifies your fear. So you have to be decisive. You have to push yourself to go right on through, even though you don't know what's around the corner and what's going to pop out at you. So I wanted to challenge you. Do something today that you've been too afraid to do for a while. Maybe it's apply for that job. Maybe it's ask a friend out for coffee. Enroll in that course you've been dying to take. Call an old friend. Write that banquet speech that you've been so afraid of. Take a new training, coach a kid's sports team. Whatever it happens to be. Show up. Even though you want to throw them sometimes because you're afraid. But do it as if your life depends on it. With your heart racing and your hands that are shaking and you're sweating. You got the dry mouth like I have going on right now. Your stomach's churning. Every bit of it. And I'll be honest, I I'm no expert on being fearless. I'm not the least bit fearless myself. I'm not ever going to claim that I am. But I'm not as scared as I used to be. And I'm not as scared as I used to be because I learned that fear is the reason that you don't live your life fully. It's the reason that you're not happy if you're not, and that you're not successful. Because what does fear do? It keeps you from getting through the haunted house, winning the candy, and it steals that candy from you. And if you feel like you missed out on everything, you know, if you're stuck, if you're unsatisfied, if you're unhappy, have you ever felt like that? You know, the question is, moreover, the question begs the question, I should say, is that what you want for yourself? For your kids? For the rest of your life? To let that fear rule you? And if you don't, then I might have some answers for you. Feel free to reach out anytime. You can comment below or PM me. And I'll help you get through your haunted house, so you can win that prize too. So if you heard something that resonates with you, or even if you're just popping in to say, hey, I can't see who you are right now, but I know there are some popping in, so welcome. I'm sorry I missed you. So if you heard something that resonates with you, would you please leave a reaction and drop a comment or ask questions, even if you're just saying hey in the thread. Let me know you popped in. Share the video with anyone you think it might help, and PM me if you have questions or want to hear more about how to beat your fear and live your fullest, happiest life. Now, I have a new definition of fear. It's the opportunity to discover who you are, who you can be, what you're capable of, and how to go from wishing and wanting to winning. You may be scared, and when you're in that haunted house, and you may want to pee your pants, just a little. But I encourage you, go through anyways. Do it scared. Because when you get through to the end, it's going to be worth it. Happy